Christmas in the 1970s was something special, simple, heartfelt, and filled with magic that didn't come from screens or shopping malls. The lights glowed warmer, the music played louder, and families made memories that lasted a lifetime. There were no online wish lists or overnight deliveries, just handwritten notes to Santa, tinsel-covered trees, and neighborhoods that came alive with joy. Here are 12 Christmas traditions from the 1970s that we wish would make a comeback. The kind that made the season sparkle in ways modern holidays just can't match. Before streaming, DVDs, or even VCRs, Christmas TV specials were a one-night-only event. When Frosty the Snowman, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, or The Year Without a Santa Claus aired, families marked it on the calendar. Dinner was cleared early, pajamas were on, and everyone gathered around the glowing screen. The opening music alone could send chills of excitement through the room. Commercials weren't an interruption, they were part of the experience, with jingles for Polaroid cameras, Kodak film, and Coca-Cola adding to the magic. Missing the show meant waiting an entire year. Those nights weren't just about watching TV, they were family rituals. Warm, cozy, and filled with laughter that defined what Christmas felt like in the 70s. If you lived through a 1970s Christmas, you remember tinsel everywhere. The tree wasn't complete until it shimmered with hundreds of thin silver strands that clung to the branches, the carpet, and even the dog. Kids gleefully tossed handfuls at the tree, while parents tried, in vain, to make it look even. It sparkled under colored lights like falling snow, turning every living room into a twinkling wonderland. The static made it stick to your clothes, and you'd still find stray pieces in July. But when you turned off the lights, and the glow of the tree reflected on the shiny tinsel, it felt like pure Christmas magic. It was messy, impractical, and absolutely perfect. Back then, Christmas belonged to the whole neighborhood. Families bundled up in scarves and mittens, braved the cold, and went door to door singing carols. Silent Night, Deck the Halls, and We Wish You a Merry Christmas. Some carried candles, others flashlights, and every home greeted them with smiles, applause, and maybe a mug of cocoa. Inside, another tradition was taking place: the annual cookie exchange. Moms baked their signature treats: fudge squares, butter cookies, rum balls, or peanut blossoms. They'd swap tins with friends, filling kitchens with a dozen different smells of sugar and spice. These traditions weren't about perfection, they were about connection. Everyone felt like part of one big festive family. There was nothing like the excitement of piling into the family station wagon to go see Christmas lights. No GPS, no social media, just word of mouth. You have to see the Johnson's house on Maple Street. Dad would drive slowly, heater humming, while the radio played Bing Crosby, Nat King Cole, or Johnny Mathis. The windows fogged up, the thermos of hot cocoa got passed around, and kids pressed their noses to the glass, eyes wide at the glowing reindeer and Santas. Some houses went all out, spinning displays, full nativity scenes, or even moving sleighs. It was simple, free, and magical. You didn't need pictures. You took it in with your heart. Before smartphones, Christmas memories were captured on the family Polaroid. That familiar click-whir of the camera became part of Christmas morning itself. Kids posed proudly with new toys. Dads held instruction manuals upside down, and moms, still in curlers and aprons, smiled through the chaos. Then came the waiting, waving the photo in the air, watching the image slowly appear like a little miracle. No retakes, No filters, just real, unedited joy. Each photo had that soft, vintage glow, forever preserving the laughter, mess, and magic of the moment. The Polaroid made every Christmas feel timeless, proof that joy doesn't need perfection, just people who love each other. Before the shopping malls took over, downtown department stores turned their windows into portals of Christmas wonder. Families bundled up and headed to Main Street just to stare through the glass. Inside, scenes came to life. Toy trains circling tiny villages, Santa's workshop with moving elves, shimmering snow made of cotton and glitter. Kids pressed their noses against the cold glass, completely spellbound. You didn't need to buy anything. The display itself was the gift. The sidewalks buzzed with laughter and music, and for a few magical weeks, every city felt like a slice of the North Pole. It wasn't about shopping. It was about stepping into the spirit of Christmas itself. Before social media and digital greetings, the mailbox was a treasure chest in December. Every day brought colorful envelopes covered in glitter, festive stamps, and handwriting you instantly recognized. Inside were Christmas cards with snowy scenes, cheerful Santas, or peaceful nativity images, and often a folded family newsletter tucked inside. Parents shared updates about new babies, report cards, job changes, or that long summer road trip to Yellowstone. Some letters were sweet, others unintentionally funny, but all were heartfelt. Each card found its place, taped to the fridge, pinned to a string, or proudly displayed on the mantel. Checking the mail during Christmas season wasn't a chore. It was a daily dose of love, connection, and nostalgia. The school Christmas play was a highlight of the season, chaotic, charming, and unforgettable. Every kid had a part. Angels with tinsel halos, shepherds in bathrobes, or if you were really lucky, Santa himself. Parents crowded into the gymnasium, the air thick with excitement, and the faint scent of pine from the stage decorations. Flash cubes popped, programs crinkled, and every missed line or crooked costume earned a laugh and thunderous applause. Teachers played the piano, the kids sang Silent Night, and the whole community came together to celebrate. It wasn't professional, it was personal. Those simple performances captured the true spirit of the holidays: togetherness, pride, and pure childhood joy. Nothing said Christmas in the 70s like the arrival of the wish book. The moment it hit the mailbox, kids sprawled across the carpet, flipping through its glossy pages for hours. There were endless toys: Barbie dream houses, Tonka trucks, Lincoln logs, Hot Wheels tracks, Easy Bake ovens, and Evel Knievel stunt bikes. You circled your favorites in pen, dog-eared pages, and daydreamed about which ones might appear under the tree. Parents used it for ideas too, or at least pretended to. That thick catalog was more than paper. It was imagination bound in print. Each page held the promise of wonder. Long before online shopping carts, the Sears catalog was the official start of Christmas magic. Homemade ornaments and popcorn strings. Christmas trees in the 70s weren't showroom perfect. They were personal masterpieces. Every ornament had a story. Handmade snowflakes, glittered pine cones, paper angels, and popsicle stick reindeer hung proudly beside strings of popcorn and cranberries. Kids sat cross-legged on the floor, threading the garlands while sneaking popcorn when Mom wasn't looking. The decorations weren't coordinated or matching, but that's what made them special. The tree glowed with memories, each ornament a reminder of a moment, a person, or a Christmas gone by. When the lights reflected off those imperfect handmade treasures, the whole room seemed to sparkle with warmth and love that no store-bought decor could ever replace. Before streaming and cable marathons, Christmas entertainment came in the form of star-studded variety specials. Bing Crosby, Dean Martin, Perry Como, The Carpenters, Sonny and Cher. They all had their holiday shows filled with music, laughter, and good-natured fun. Families gathered in front of the TV, popcorn bowls in their laps, as these icons sang classics like White Christmas and Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas. Celebrities dropped by for skits. Children's choirs performed, and every show ended with a heartfelt message of peace and joy. There was no flash, no irony, just pure sincerity. For an hour or two, everyone felt part of something bigger, wrapped in the glow of shared holiday spirit. In the 70s, getting the family Christmas tree was a full-day adventure. You bundled up, piled into the station wagon, and drove to the nearest lot. Or sometimes, out into the woods. Dad inspected every tree like a foreman, while the kids ran circles around the rows shouting, "This one!" When you finally found the one, it was tied to the roof, and the car filled with that unmistakable pine scent. Back home, Mom made hot cocoa while everyone took turns hanging ornaments. The tree always leaned a little, the needles got everywhere, and the lights tangled every year. But when it finally lit up, it felt perfect. That glow wasn't just from the bulbs, it was from the memories being made. Christmas in the 70s was simple, heartfelt, and full of warmth. It wasn't about perfect trees or fancy gifts. It was about laughter, family, and memories that still glow today. What's your favorite Christmas memory? Share it in the comments. We love hearing your stories. And if this brought back good memories, don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us for more trips down memory lane. Christmas in the 1970s was a season made of simple joys, family, music, and memories that still warm the heart. Decades later, the lights might have dimmed and the world moved faster, but the spirit of those Christmases still shines bright. Which of these traditions do you remember most? Share your favorite memory in the comments. We love hearing your stories. And if this brought back good memories, don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us for more trips down memory lane. Christmas in the 1970s was a season made of simple joys, family, music, and memories that still warm the heart decades later. The lights might have dimmed and the world moved faster, but the spirit of those Christmases still shines bright. Which of these traditions do you remember most? Share your favorite memory in the comments. We love reading your stories. And if you enjoyed this trip down memory lane, don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us for more nostalgic stories from the good old days.